So I think one of the most entertaining things so far that I've had to experience is seeing just how much people have had to dodge the idea of having to admit that Hogwarts Legacy is actually a good game. People don't want to admit it. The people that don't want to admit it are the ones that are ideologically driven people that definitely don't want to agree with this fact. And the thing is, they have to at least somehow, some way, give some sort of recognition to this game, even though they don't want to. They absolutely don't want to. And I love seeing the show media websites refusing to actually give credence to this. But we have an article from Kotaku from, I believe, is a trans woman. I'm almost positive it is, based off what this person said in their article. I didn't get to read too much of it. I just saw it and I was like, I gotta make a video on this. This one comes for us from Kotaku, as mentioned, and it says 15 hours with Hogwarts Legacy, magical surface, rotten core. Oh my god, dude. I'm honestly like I cannot deal with people like this, man. I really can't. But I find it funny. I do find it pretty hilarious, and we are gonna make a video on this. So let's talk about it. So it says the discourse around Harry Potter game has encompassed J.K. Rowling's rancid politics and the role of criticism herself. Now, again, so this is written by Carolyn Petit. Okay, this is Carolyn Petit for those of you who don't know, okay? This is Carolyn Petit. Let's see what Carolyn has to say. It says, Hogwarts Legacy is here. Its arrival surrounded by brutal blasts of discourse, and there are bursts of bat bogey hexes flying around the Slytherin common room. The conversation around the open-world action-adventure game, which seeks to provide players with immersive fantasy of actually attending the storied school of magic from Harry Potter's universe, largely stems from the fact that the universe's creator, J.K. Rowling, is a virulent transphobe, using the platform afforded to her by her fame and wealth to normalize the othering of trans people and contributing prominently to a culture in which anti-trans sentiment, legislation, and violence are on the rise. Sorry, I had to say it in a way that would match the drama that is clearly present in that first paragraph. Again, I would like someone to give me some sort of evidence, something along the lines of proof that states or shows that people have been receiving violence due to Hogwarts Legacy, or due to J.K. Rowling, or due to Harry Potter in general. Just show me like where people are getting violence from, you know what I'm saying? And I could almost guarantee that if there is someone who got violence from it, it's probably because they were in someone's face nonstop 24/7, annoying that person about their ideology, and whoever showcased violence to them probably got fed up, most likely. It says, however, the conversation doesn't start and end there, as game sites and critics have struggled to navigate how to cover the game, which, again, the fact that you have struggled as a game site, okay? You are a video game website. Your job is to cover a video game, not talk about politics or ideology. Cover the game. Is the game good? Talk about game mechanics. Talk about the story. Talk about anything other than the fact of the author who has nothing to do with this fucking game. Yet you are incapable, which goes to show just how useless Kotaku, IGN, Game Rant, all these fucking show media websites, how absolutely useless you guys are to the culture of video games. You are fucking useless. You serve no purpose. It says conflicting ideas about the very nature and role of criticism have also been conjured and flung about. Some have argued that the right way to cover Hogwarts Legacy is to not cover it at all. I respect this viewpoint, but I don't share it. I think that the cultural impact of the game is so vast and the issues swirling around it so important that it demands thoughtful critical engagement, and that requires playing the game, so I prepared to take the unusual step of enrolling at Hogwarts as a 5th year. That's a really strange way to say I really want to play the game, I just don't know how to do so without getting canceled. That's a really strange way of saying it. Because guys, listen, that's exactly what this person is doing, okay? This person wants to play the game. Let's be real. This person wants to play the game 100%, but they have chosen a political side, so they cannot come out publicly and say they want to play the game. And this is exactly what's happening with a lot of people in private. I guarantee you there's people out there that are publicly denouncing this game on Twitter or wherever they talk. They are denouncing this game, and yet in private they have bought a copy and they are playing the shit out of it. I guarantee you about half of the crowd is probably doing that. And the reason why they're doing that is because there's no way to really truly track whether they're playing the game or not, because it's not an online game, it's a single player game, so they can argue a bunch of different excuses as to why they might have it in the first place. It says, before I get into the game itself, I just want to be clear about my relationship to the world. Normally, I wouldn't go to such lengths, but given the intensity of the conversation around the game, I think it's important that readers understand where I'm coming from. Where is the intensity? Where is the intensity of this conversation? Because I don't know about you guys, but on The Adventures of a Bigot, our live stream that we do every single day at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go check it out if you want to have a good time, I don't see anybody having any serious conversation about this game other than how much fun it is and just having a blast. Like I don't see anybody having this intense conversation. These are only coming from the trans activists. That's the only place this is coming from. They're having a conversation amongst themselves. Like it's literally a room filled with like 10 people who are angry for nothing. Like that's really what it is. It says, I read the Harry Potter books around the time they came out, back when I was blissfully unaware that J.K. Rowling would one day become known as much for her transphobic ideology as she is for being the author of an outrageously popular series of children's books. I am trans, which makes her attitude about trans people particularly hard to overlook. Okay, there we go. I didn't see that part in the article. I wasn't 100% confirmed that they were trans, even though it's pretty obvious from the picture. I wasn't 100% confirmed, but now I know this person has skin in the game. So because they have skin in the game, I take nothing that they say seriously anymore. I'm throwing everything they say out the window about J.K. Rowling and about Harry Potter. But let's see what they have to say just for entertainment's sake. It says, I was already older than the series' target audience, but I liked them fine and thought that they deserved to become new classics of children's literature. I understand the appeal of the game, like Hogwarts Legacy, the chance to step into an immersively detailed recreation of a place one loves from books and films and craft your own compelling story by attending classes, making friends, learning spells, getting into mischief, visiting Hogsmeade, exploring the castle, and finding yourself at the heart of conflict that threatens the wizarding world. As a player and critic, I approach all of that with an open mind. See, the thing is, you idiot, that's exactly what the game is. That's exactly what the game is. There's nothing transphobic about this fucking game. Everything you said right there in that paragraph is literally what the video game is about. There is nothing transphobic about the game. So the fact of the matter is, you could have reviewed this game based on that singular paragraph that you wrote, but you chose not to because you, as a trans person, have skin in the game. It says, at the same time, I'm not a diehard fan steeped in Potter lore. While I remember the broad strokes of the series narrative, I've forgotten most of the smaller details, so I'm not going to catch every reference and Easter egg. I know that the Weasleys I met are ancestors on the ones in the books. Sure, Hogwarts Legacy takes place in the 1980s, and I recognize plenty of other family names and nods to magical dynasties, but for every reference I catch, I'm sure that it doesn't fly over my head. I'm not here to judge how well Hogwarts Legacy crams in bits of fan service, just as I think a good Star Wars game or the Lord of the Rings game should pull players in, even if they're not already experts on the history of the Jedi or the nature of the Maiar. I feel that if Hogwarts Legacy is going to work, it should work for newcomers as well as those who once loved the series so much that they got Harry Potter tattoos that they now regret. If you regret getting a Harry Potter tattoo now, only because J.K. Rowling said biological women are real, you're a moron. You're a moron. Honestly, you really are. Also, lastly, and this is the best part, this is not a review. This is not a review of the game. Okay, you have to make that very clear. Okay, like a number of other outlets, we weren't furnished with early code, and what I can only assume was an effort to ensure that early reactions to the game would be mostly positive. No, that's not exactly what it is. They didn't give you a code because you are Kotaku, okay? You are writing for Kotaku. That is a video game website that doesn't write about video games. Literally, you said it in the beginning of this article. You do not want to write about this game because there is outside influences stopping you from doing so that have nothing to do with the game itself. That doesn't make you a video game website. That makes you a political website. That makes you a pop culture website. You are not a video game website. You're not a video game review website, because if you were, you would review the game regardless and review it based on the merit of the game itself. But you don't want to do that because that would give positive press to somebody who is your ideological opponent. That is your... I'm not even reading this fucking asshole's article anymore, to be honest with you. That is exactly what's going on, guys. They don't want to do this. They don't want to touch this game, not because it hurts them in any way, because they have to admit the game is good. How are you going to trash a game that is so blatantly good? Right? That's like those companies that tried to come out and trash Elden Ring when Elden Ring was fucking amazing. They try to say, oh, well, look, it doesn't have a quest system, it doesn't hold your hand, so clearly it's bad. It's like, what? What did you even think before you talked? Like, I don't even understand what you're saying at this point. So yes, people like this, listen, have skin in the game, okay? People like this have skin in the game. They can't admit when something is good, because if that is good, then that's basically having to prove in their minds that J.K. Rowling has got something here. And you know what's funny? This doesn't even have anything to do with J.K. Rowling. It's a totally different studio that made this game with barely any input from her, and yet she's getting all the credit and all the negative attention. It doesn't make any sense, and that's because people like this have skin in the game. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.